What's good, and welcome to Kind of Funny Games Daily for Friday, January 18th, 2019. I'm Andrea Renee, joined by the verified one, Tim Geddes.
Let Tim host. Great to be with you today, Andrea.
Yes, Tim.
I'm very excited to talk to you. You spent your day yesterday in LA.
I did.
I was very jealous of you. You had a cool party, hanging out, fatalities left and right.
Listen, Tim, the amount of blood that I saw yesterday cannot be understated.
Oh, man.
It was a lot, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, we're definitely going to be talking about Mortal Kombat 11. Several of you wrote in with your questions. Thank you so much once again for being part of the show and participating. Of course, you can do that at patreon.com/kindoffunnygames. You can also get a new episode of the Gamescast there today, correct?
It's true. It's true. Patreon.com/kindoffunnygames. Very worth it. And also, if you're over there, you get to be part of the show if you're a bronze member. That's fun. You can write your questions to Kind of Funny Games Daily. And starting next week, also live viewers can correct us during You're Wrong.
So is that happening for real?
Starting next week.
You guys made the call?
Greg called during the show yesterday.
I heard everything that happened. I listened to the show from yesterday. I heard Greg call in twice. And I was like, is he just taunting or is he being serious? So he was serious.
Oh, yeah. I mean, well, he was being serious, and I'm serious about it, too.
You guys lost your privileges because you were fucking around.
Yesterday hurt. Yesterday really
hurt. Some tomfoolery yesterday on the show.
If we didn't get bamboozled that bad, I think I'd be in a different attitude about it. But no. I got bamboozled not once but twice yesterday.
I did tell Kevin when I was talking to him this morning in the kitchen, I said, I was a little disappointed that you guys didn't corroborate that news before you read it out loud.
It's fucking kind of funny. We can say whatever the hell we want. If I see some shit to get hype about, I'm going to get hype. And then if the hype gets deflated, it gets deflated.
We're going to corroborate live, you know?
Here's the thing, though.
We do it live. That's what we do here.
If the hype doesn't get, gets deflated, but you guys got really bent out of shape about it after you read it. So it's like either you're going to go with the flow and be like, well, I guess it wasn't real, LOL, or you're going to...
I don't think we got bent out of shape.
Yes,
I think
did.
we went with the...
I did.
We went with the joke about it. There's a difference.
BT Dubs, Bear, don't hold your breath about Persona 5 on Switch.
No, I know it's never going to happen. And
Persona 5?
All dreams are dead.
Yeah.
No, it's never going to happen.
No,
March.
Tim, you are dreaming.
Yeah. Sony is never going to let, because they have a deal. Exactly. And Persona 5, now that it's popular and it's like one of their big exclusives, they're never going to let that go.
Exactly.
March.
Only in your dreams, Tim. But this is Kind of Funny Games Daily. Each and every weekday, we bring you the nerdy video game news you need to know about. You can watch live at twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames. If you're watching live, of course, as Tim mentioned, we'd like you to be part of the show at patreon.com/kindoffunnygames as well. And you also can download this on podcast services around the globe, and you can watch the video at youtube.com/kindoffunnygames. Wherever you watch or listen, thank you so much for supporting the show. We appreciate all that you guys do for us and love the community around Kind of Funny Games Daily. We've got a little bit of housekeeping. We want you guys to tune into twitch.tv/Andy Cortez. Yes, that is Andy Cortez's personal Twitch channel at 4 p.m. Pacific time tomorrow on Saturday, January 19th, to watch at Maximum Cortez play at Aftercharge with the Kind of Funny best friends. Do you guys want to play with them? Well, you can get into Andy's Discord server at discordapp.com/invite.
It's in the description.
Yeah, I'm not going to read it. So yes, please head on over to Andy's Discord. We will be putting those links out on all of the Kind of Funny socials, so you'll be able to easily see those. Don't forget, you can type in #AfterCharge in the chat during this episode live if you're in the chat right now for your chance to win a code to play Aftercharge on Xbox.
That's the thing. Today's your last chance to get the code from us, but if you have Xbox Game Pass, it's free with that as well. So many opportunities to play with Andy Cortez.
There you go. Yeah. See? It's going to be fun. And this episode is brought to you by SkillShare, but we'll talk to you about that later. For now, let's get into what is and forever will be the Roper Report. Time for some news. There are 3 items on the Roper Report.
A baker's dozen.
So it's a little bit light on the news today. So one of these items is more of like a interesting data story, but the first one, of course, is the big one. Mortal Kombat 11 was unveiled yesterday at the reveal event. We got new story details. We got a confirmed roster so far, and we got some details about gameplay as well. As Tim mentioned, I was there, but our friend Adam Bankhurst over at IGN had a nice little write-up that summarizes everything. At the Mortal Kombat 11 reveal event, the first details on the game's story were given, and it was confirmed that it will follow the events that occurred in Mortal Kombat X. This new story mode is said to be a time-bending narrative that will, as Ed Boon says, allow for situations where old characters can meet their younger selves. This time manipulation will occur because of Kronika, the first female boss in Mortal Kombat history. As she is the keeper of time and creator of existence, it needs to bring...
Feels unfair that she's both of those things. Just gonna put it out there. Some bullshit.
Yeah, you're not wrong, but there's a lot of like bullshit lore happening in Mortal Kombat.
Liu Kang is dead. Best opening to a game ever.
Right, exactly. So she will be able to bring order to the universe through any means necessary, which obviously means she can tie up any loose plot holes, which is convenient that they created
a character. This is the Days of Future Past of Mortal Kombat. I'm here for it.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Of course, this is all because Raiden has upset the bounds of history by torturing Shinnok, and wow.
I told him not to
that
do it.
opening prologue video that they showed where Raiden beheads Shinnok and is like, I know that this won't kill you, but it'll like torture you forever. Like, that's intense.
Hell yeah, man. Mortal Kombat.
It reminded me a little bit of what's his face in God of War? What's the guy's Barrett, what's the guy's name? The
Grimly.
head.
Oh, Mimir?
Yes.
Mimir.
The smartest man alive.
NPC of the year, Mimir.
He's great.
All right, where was I? Kronika will bring with her a new fighter to the Mortal Kombat roster, Garrus, who is her powerful and loyal servant that can also manipulate time and utilize the power of sand.
The prince.
The Mortal Kombat 11 reveal event also confirmed that Ronda Rousey will be voicing Sonya Blade, a character who's been around since Mortal Kombat began in 1992. Of course, if you guys remember, that was rumored and leaked, and then, of course, she showed up on stage.
WWE Women's Champion Ronda Rousey?
Yeah, I thought she did great on stage yesterday. Very charming. Some other details that I pulled from other sources. Of course, the 8 characters that were revealed yesterday: Sub-Zero, Scorpion, Sonya Blade, Scarlet, Baraka, Raiden, Garrus, and of course, Shao Kahn was announced as a pre-order bonus. Netherrealm also teased another possible returning character, Cabal, who debuted in Mortal Kombat 3. They, of course, did that in this little brief flash when they announced the return of the combat cast. So they said you're going to have to wait until January 30th to find out who that is, but the rumors on the street, Tim, are that it's Cabal. Lastly, the closed beta for Mortal Kombat 11 will be going live on March 28th, and you can get guaranteed access to the beta if you guys pre-order the game. So that was the biggest headlines of yesterday. I also got to play. They also announced a lot of stuff breaking down changes to the way that the meters work, changes to the X-ray system, all the stuff. So we're going to get into that. The Nano Biologist wrote in to patreon.com/kindoffunnygames and says, "Howdy, Tim and Andrea. What's good? With the rampant use of fake news..." Wait, did I put this in the wrong section? I did. Nano Biologist, I'm kicking that to reader mail. Aaron writes in and says, as a huge fan of Netherrealm Studios, I didn't like Injustice 2's gear system affecting stats like health and defense. It made it difficult to play IRL with friends, and it added a lot of grind to online play. Were you able to tell what effect gear had besides cosmetics in MK11? P.S. Please do an MK11 bracket party mode with all of Kinda Funny.
Ooh,
that could be fun.
Here's my thing just about that. In our history, doing tournament brackets of fighting games is never fun, or at least it's not good content because none of us are good enough or one person's too good. So it just becomes a lot of button mashing and it's not good. Everyone's like, this isn't fun to watch. And it's like, it sucks because it sounds like it'd be great. It actually isn't great.
Why are you scared, Tim?
No, I'm not scared.
Well,
we've done it like 10 times before.
But what's different about Mortal Kombat as the fighting game of choice is that Mortal Kombat, I think, is much more interesting to watch because of these crazy X-ray moves and the fatalities and like the over-the-top gore. Not to say that Street Fighter isn't exciting to watch, particularly at the pro level.
Well,
but
the thing with Street Fighter is at least we kind of know how to play.
Mortal Kombat's so much easier now than it used to be.
Yeah.
They have an integrated move list. You can literally hit the start button and look at all of the move combos.
Yeah, you can always do that. I don't know. My thing is, I've always been a Street Fighter guy where it's like I understood There's different archetypes of the characters, essentially 3, at least we're talking about Street Fighter 2. Yep. You just need to learn certain button combinations that are going to allow you to know the specials for any of the characters.
Right.
That made sense to me. I liked that. Mortal Kombat was always the like, but we're cool and there's blood and all that stuff. And like, of course, that was fun when I was a little kid. As I grew up, it just became the thing. That was a rental game. Mortal Kombat was the ultimate rental game for me, where I'd get it, me and my friends would play for a weekend and then be like, okay, cool. I never need to play that again. Mortal Kombat Deception, back in the GameCube, Xbox, PS2 era. Now that was a fun game. But that was because of the bonkers-ass single-player content that they added.
Well, Netherrealm has been doing really amazing work with the single-player content in their fighting games.
And that's why this is such a crazy story to me that I don't think has ever happened in video games, where I could not have less interest in Mortal Kombat as a franchise, just because it's like,
sure,
I'm not a big fighting game guy. If I was going to
play
a fighting game,
we all have that franchise,
it'd be Street Fighter and whatever, or Smash if you count that, whatever. But playing Injustice 2, and I've told the story a million times now, but playing Injustice 2 over winter break last year blew my mind. I was like, this is how fighting game single-player content should be. The story had so much love put into it. It taught you how to play the game. Everything about it, putting you between different characters, having you choose which character you want to go into for a fight, but having it be a limited amount, and it constantly changing. Everything felt fresh, and it wasn't too long. It was like a nice 6-hour experience. I'm getting Mortal Kombat 11 just because of that.
Good news, Tim. Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing.
They're doing it, and I believe in them entirely. All this time warping shit, I'm like, this sounds stupid as hell in the best way. And also, it's on Switch. Ultimate airplane game. Let's go.
So to answer Aaron's question about the grind for gear and cosmetics, I did get a pretty deep look at the gear system, which is one of the biggest gameplay changes that they're making for the Mortal Kombat gameplay systems. So essentially, they've taken a lot of what they did with Injustice 2 and are bringing it over to MK11. So your gear now will have both cosmetic and gameplay stats. Certain items, so let's say you have like a headpiece, a chest piece, and maybe like gauntlets. Each of the 3 pieces will have a variety of cosmetic items. So you go into the customization menu, you can choose which look you like for each piece. And then each gear piece has 3 gem slots. And each of those gem slots will have different stat bonuses. Maybe you'll get like a damage buff for certain moves, or maybe you'll get a health boost for certain moves, et cetera, right? There's a crap ton of different gems that you can get. What I really loved about the customization system is that it feels more personable when you're playing solo mode, to be able to see those individual customized pieces in those really amazing moves. The Fatal Blow is what they're called now in MK11 that we saw in the montages yesterday and some of the gameplay. You'll see them in the fatalities too, of course, but I think that's what makes it kind of special, because I don't recall another fighting game outside of Injustice where, outside of a full character skin, where you can see individual customized pieces on your fighter, like, oh, the boots that I'm wearing are
Street
different.
Fighter 5, there was like Pizza Hut logos.
Oh, Pizza Hut logos.
Do you remember that?
No, I do
like
not.
2 months ago, it was a whole thing. Forget about it.
How that's going to work in ranked and online play was the first question that I had, and a lot of questions that you guys tweeted to me yesterday. They gave me the very stock, we're not ready to talk about that yet, which was kind of disappointing that they introduced this extensive gear customization system, but they're like, we're not going to tell you how it is. The other thing that I was concerned about when I saw the customization system was there's a cost associated with an in-game economy to slotting the gems. So some of the gems, not the gems. Yeah, so the gems are single use, which kind of blew my mind, that I'm like, okay, so you're introducing a system where I'm going to get drops after each victory, that includes a random assortment of gear, and then I'm going to get a random assortment of gems that I can slot in. Once you've slotted the gem into your gear, you can't remove it or you lose it, but there's a way to pay to transfer it. And so I said, okay, so I'm seeing a couple of different kinds of currency in the menu, and I asked Michael, can you explain to me how this is going to work? Because clearly this like smacks of microtransactions, right? Like, is part of this like paid with real money, part of it's earned in game? And he was like, yes. And I was like, can you explain how it works? And he was like, no. And I was like, okay, so that either means to me that they're not ready to talk about it because they are still working it out, because the game is still a few months away,
or it's bad news,
or it's bad.
You're going to have a bad time.
I'm hoping it's not I'm hoping it's not bad, because I love that they introduced cosmetic customizations that are just not stat related. But I hope that they don't make them super cost prohibitive. Yeah. That being said, I think it's interesting, and I think it's going to do some cool things. I do also like the way that they're changing up the Fatal Blow system. So Alex Krebs also wrote in, and said, MK Living introduces a new Fatal Blow mechanic in lieu of X-ray attacks from MKX or super moves from the Injustice series, both of which previously required building meter to perform. As someone who enjoys NRS fighting games, did you like this new mechanic that requires dropping to 30% health, or would you have preferred they stuck to the meter building X-rays? Thanks, Alex from Fargo. This is interesting the way that they have changed this up. I actually kind of like it because they also introduced crushing blows in addition to fatal blow. So the crushing blow really kind of replaces the traditional X-ray move where you can kind of trigger it throughout the match instead of at a specific point. The fatal blow is still that like double trigger, like really crazy move where you go into that animation, which is really awesome when you get to trigger it. As far as how I feel about them locking it to having to drop below 30%, I think it's fine. I think it makes the stakes higher because otherwise people are just triggering it all over the time. And if you don't trigger it before the end of the round, it doesn't carry over. It will reset in the next round. So it really incentivizes you to use it or lose it, which I think also brings some interesting stakes, particularly into PvP matches. They also introduced something called a flawless block, I think is the way they call it. It's essentially like a new parry system that they've introduced into the game. Obviously blocking a huge part of the strategy in fighting games. And so this will reward players who will like to kind of do the high risk, high reward style of gameplay, that if they can get in there and time their block perfectly, they'll get like a bonus opportunity to strike back. So I thought that was really neat. And I don't really want to go too like into the weeds of all like the super nitty gritty mechanics that they did with the meter system because it's a little bit much to explain. Yeah. But there are lots of people who have done very extensive write-ups about the changes to the meter system, how Crushing Blow and Fatal Blow are going to work. If you are the kind of person that's like, I'm so interested and fascinated, I would just direct you to, your favorite video game reviewer and look for their preview.
So one of my favorite things from Injustice 2, so there's the story mode, but I also really enjoyed the other single player content they had that was kind of like a event mode, rivals mode thing where there'd be like challenges based on famous rivalries in the DC universe history. So it'd be like, Batman versus Joker or whatever. And then you go through and be like level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4. Was there anything like that they showed off yesterday?
No. There was a lot that they weren't showing yesterday and weren't talking about. I did an interview with one of the producers from the game, and over half of my questions, he told me we're not ready to talk about that yet. It was pretty frustrating for me. But one of the cool things that he did talk about, not to pivot too hard from your question, but was about the blood mechanics, the blood animation, and how they spent a lot of time learning how to animate liquids in the game so that they could have the most realistic simulation for liquids and blood. And I was like, that's gross and fascinating at the same time.
Yeah, good for you guys. You know what? That's what we need. I've been saying ever since Super Mario Sunshine on GameCube, we need better water in video games.
Well,
there we go.
There's some pretty amazing water in other video games.
This is an old people
water
joke.
Has also always looked good since BioShock 1.
Yeah, it just doesn't look good on any Nintendo console is what I think he means to say.
No, it's not what I mean to say. What I mean to say is one of the biggest things Super Mario Sunshine had going for it was Nintendo kept pushing it's the best looking water in video game history. And it was at the time.
It's sad that that's all that game had going for it,
hot take from Barrett.
That's not a hot take.
No, that's a very cold take. Sunshine is not
It's
great.
fine.
One of the other questions that I had that I was really hoping to get an answer to, but they refused, was the crypt. So if you guys remember the crypt from MK, the previous Mortal Kombat, there was this kind of weird first-person mode where you're going through this like graveyard where you unlock all of these little things, and I just really did not like the crypt because it smacked of microtransactions. And so I was like, is the crypt coming back? And they're like, we're not ready to talk about that at this time. And I was like, please don't bring it back. But towers are back, which is cool. And they've been obviously a staple in Mortal Kombat for a while now. And I got to play a tower where Raiden kicked my ass repeatedly. Yeah. And Brittany laughed while the AI beat me senseless. It was fun. I had a good time. One last final Mortal Kombat question from Daniel. Hi, Andrea and Tim. Loving Kinda Funny 4.0 so far, and congrats to you on all the success you rock. Which characters from horror movies or TV would you want to see appear as DLC in MK11?
I want Alice from the Brady Bunch.
All right.
What?
I'm feeling it.
He said TV. Horror characters.
He said horror movies or TV.
Well, horror TV. I don't know. The Scream guy, Ghostface.
I like it. I'm a fan.
Scream. What would his special move be?
From Saw. All right.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I want Chucky from
Child's Play.
Yeah, and also the puppet from Goosebumps.
Why are you guys doing these tiny little things?
It's funny.
Yeah,
it's the odd job of the Mortal Kombat world.
Yeah.
But Mortal Kombat has never had
a tiny character.
like a character like the size of their fighters are all relatively the same with
Until now, Andrea.
With the exception of a couple
right here. Someone just told me in kindafunny.com/you're wrong that Chucky in fact is in Mortal Kombat 11. Heard it here first.
Oh my god. I will not be part of any of your wrong shenanigans. Not here for it. I expect better of you guys. Where is Capitalist Pig keeping everything on track?
Dead by Dawn 94
Lord
says
Pone?
Ash from Evil Dead would be cool.
Yeah.
That could be cool.
Isn't he already in a fighting game though?
Maybe.
I don't know. I feel like everyone has at this point.
Oh no, I'm thinking of Negan.
Negan in Tekken. Yeah, everyone's favorite.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of somebody who's like supernatural because that's what I love about Mortal Kombat. It's more high fantasy than any of the other fighting games are. And I love the really kind of supernatural element to it.
Well, also they're allowed to be violent in a way that the others aren't.
Correct.
Which I feel limits the amount of people that can be in, but also is really perfect for characters that wouldn't necessarily be able to be themselves in.
You know who would
game.
be perfect? Voldemort.
Ooh, I'm down for it.
Right?
Wait, that actually would be really cool. And that could work with licensing of WB.
Right? Warner Brothers? Oh my god.
That's the best call. That's the best call. Wow.
You heard it here first.
You heard it here first. Voldemort, Mortal Kombat 11. That would be awesome. And it would look cool too.
Yeah. Huh. He would fit right in with all the freaks in Mortal Kombat.
Love it.
All right, moving on to the next item in the Roper Report. Netflix sees Fortnite as one of its greatest threats. This write-up comes from Emma Kent over at Eurogamer. In its latest earnings report, Netflix reportedly earned a quarterly revenue of $4.2 billion, a 27% increase from the previous year's same period. But this didn't stop the media giant from name-dropping some potential threats in a letter to shareholders. Quote, in the U.S., we earn around 10% of television screen time and less than that of mobile screen time. We earn consumer screen time, both mobile and television, away from a very broad set of competitors. We compete with and lose to Fortnite more than HBO. When YouTube went down globally for a few minutes in October, our viewing and sign-ups spiked for that time. There are thousands of competitors in this highly fragmented market, vying to entertain consumers and low barriers to entry with those with great experiences. So I pulled this as a story because I thought it was fascinating that Fortnite is pulling more competition than HBO, the home of one of the best series of all time, Game of Thrones.
See, what's interesting to me about this is I feel like this is less Fortnite's actually their competition and more, hey, guess what, HBO, you're not competition. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like
you
this
think
is
that
totally
they're trying to like spit in the face of HBO?
And I say that because when this happened, and they're like, oh, our shit spiked when YouTube went down. Like Rooster Teeth, which is another subscription video site, people don't think of it that way. They think of it, oh, they're just a bunch of YouTubers.
Right.
Rooster Teeth is actually one of the top 10 subscription VOD channels in the world. So it's on the same list, as Netflix. Netflix, obviously, way higher, but it's still on the same list. And when the YouTube thing happened, they saw a spike. They were talking about that. I feel like that's more of a video thing, and I feel like trying to get Fortnite involved, and really it's YouTube they're talking about, right?
Yeah.
So it's like giving Fortnite all the credit for that is a little disingenuous.
I see what you're saying. I think obviously Fortnite in the headline makes for a better headline,
of course.
But I hear you clucking Big Chicken.
Yeah. Oh, I like that.
Also, I did not realize that Kevin tag teamed out with Barrett, and I looked over and I was like, Barrett, what happened to your face? You grew a beard.
But it is interesting, though, and I do think that I love that we're in this world of the fighting streaming companies, because it's like this is not the future of entertainment. It's the present of entertainment. And I like that everybody's stepping it up and trying to do more and do bigger and better content. And for them to be looking at video games, and even if it is just lip service just to talk shit to HBO and all of them, I still think that it's important that they're putting video games in that conversation, you know?
Heck yes.
Heck yeah.
We're taking over, everyone.
Taking over, baby.
Watch your shit.
And the third item on the Roper Report, the U.S. and Canada mobile gaming brought in at $9.37 billion in 2018. This write-up comes from Rebecca Valentine over at GamesIndustry.biz. The mobile gaming industry saw continued strength in 2018 in U.S. and Canada. 60% of Americans and Canadians play mobile games, and their spending brought the industry $9.37 billion last year. EDAR, in collaboration with Sensor Tower, has published the full version of the Deconstructing Mobile and Tablet Gaming 2019 report, offering further insight beyond the highlights shared earlier this week. The data comes from a survey of 5,000 active US and Canadian mobile gamers ages 2 and up who qualified if they had access to a mobile gaming device and had played a game within 30 days of the survey. As previously reported, EDAR reports that a total of 283.1 million mobile users in the US and Canada and 210.9 million play mobile games, a number that's a 5% year-over-year increase. A gender breakdown shows that 51% of mobile gamers in 2018 were female and 49% were male. See, we're taking over, ladies. Let's do it. By age breakdown, children 2 to 12 make up 20% of mobile gamers, play an average of 5 hours per week, and spend an average of $17 per year. Children are most likely to play kid-friendly games on tablets over smartphones and learn about new titles from friends and family who are also playing those games. Teens and young adults ages 13 to 18 make up 24% of mobile games, playing for an average of 5 hours per week and spending an average of $18 per year. Unlike younger gamers, they are more likely to play on smartphones and enjoy a wider range of genres, and YouTube is the key way they discover new games. As for adults, sorry, I thought you were going to say something. Both mid-adults and later adults, 25 to 44 and 45 plus respectively, play 6 hours per week and spend more per year. Abby, we have money. $37 and $22 respectively. Mid-adults, like teenagers, enjoy a wide array of genres and are far more likely to play only on smartphones, but older adults see mixed device usage between smartphone and tablet and tend to focus on puzzle and casino titles.
A weird stat that they didn't put in there that's surprising to me is about 3% of that is actually Gia Harris playing Disney Emoji Blitz.
Oh, yes.
So, no, not anymore. Okay. She had to. She literally had to delete the app. She's like, this is becoming a problem.
We all had that moment, dude.
This just goes to show that, you know, I feel like people have stopped talking shit about mobile games as a whole. Like they're not like the taboo thing anymore because now the bad things about them have moved their way into console gaming.
Feels so long ago that hashtag Andrea was right happened when Colin and I had our throwdown about mobile games.
And here we are, continuing to be right.
Well, I do want to mention the top 10 mobile games of 2018. Interestingly, after spending some time in middle of the pack, Candy Crush Saga, now once again, number 1.
Top 10
grossing.
Sales, top 10 money made.
Top 10 grossing games.
Cool.
So Candy Crush Soda Saga, number 2. Slotomania, number 3. Number 4, Clash of Clans. Number 5, Pokemon Go. Number 6, Roblox Mobile. Number 7, Fortnite. Number 8, Clash Royale. 9, Homescapes. 10, Gardenscapes. What Gardenscapes is? I don't know, but God. I want to know.
Oh, trust me, I know, because I saw an ad for it every fucking 10 minutes in Disney Emoji Blitz and Homescapes as well. What they do, it's one of those things where they just buy ads in every mobile game, and everyone's like, oh, if you play this thing, then you get free turns or whatever in the game you actually want to play. God, geniuses, those motherfuckers.
Interesting.
It's horrible, but it's genius.
And there's a little asterisk here that says that the reason why Fortnite might be listed as number 7 in this list is because they did not include the Android revenue. So it's possible. So this list isn't just based on iOS revenue, but apparently they only had data from Fortnite's iOS revenue because the Android release was much later in the year.
Interesting. Jumping off of that, Damon Hatfield tweeted yesterday similar information, but about premium PC and console games and free-to-play games.
Yeah.
And their revenue in 2018. The top 10, number 1 for premium games, so games you actually had to pay for, PUBG, with over $1 billion made.
That
pretty impressive for a dead game, quote unquote.
Whoa, chill out, dude. It's coming back.
But what I'm with you. What I'm saying is, like, everyone says it's dead, but $1 billion in 2018 in the year of Fortnite. That's interesting.
The earlier part of the year.
Well, what I find fascinating about that list is that there's another list that I have that says that Fortnite's revenue was $2.4 billion last year.
You're right. I'm gonna get to that because that's a free-to-play game.
Okay.
That's not on the premium list. Yeah.
Oh, got it. So that's why it's not in the same list as PUBG.
Exactly. So premium games, number 1, PUBG at 1 billion. Number 2, FIFA 18 at 790. And
those foot packs, man.
They got you, man. Then number 3, I don't know why I'm still surprised at this. GTA 5 at $628 million.
Dude, everyone wants a shark card. Shark cards for everybody.
Black Ops 4, $612 million. Number 5, Red Dead Redemption 2 at $516 million.
It sold over 17 million copies.
That's just insane, though, for how little it was on the market compared to these other games. But man, Call of Duty World War II at $506 million. FIFA 19 at $482 million.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Call of Duty World War II.
World War II and Black Ops 4.
Last year's game. Don't forget.
Yeah. Last year's game and FIFA's last year's game and this year's game. Then Monster Hunter World.
Hell yeah, Capcom. Good for
8,
you.
$467 million. Number 9, Rainbow Six Siege.
Yes. What? I love that game.
$440 million. And then number 10, Overwatch, $429 million. Trucking along. Then going over to the free-to-play games. Number 1, Fortnite with $2.4 billion.
Wow.
Mind-boggling.
Number 2, Dungeon Fighter Online.
The hell is that?
Don't know.
Nexon Games.
Clearly, a lot of people are playing it.
$1.5 billion.
Whoa.
Number 3, League of Legends, $1.4 billion. Number 4, Pokemon Go at $1.3
There's so many haters of Pokemon Go out there, but they're just Niantic's still crushing it.
Year after year, $1.3 billion. Damn. Crossfire, $1.3 billion. Honor of Kings, 2? The 2's like a weird
Let me see.
exponent. I don't know what's going on there. It's hard to see with this.
Is that like
maybe it's a footnote somewhere? We don't got it. Anyway, $1.3 billion. Then Fate/Grand Order, $1.2 billion. Man,
Jesus
these mobile
Christ,
games.
There's a lot of money in these free games.
Then Candy Crush Saga, $1.1 billion. Monster Strike, $1 billion. And then Clash Royale at just barely under $1 billion. Wow.
That's crazy.
It really is.
So it's important to note that the list that Tim just read is across multi-platform, and the list that I read in the beginning was mobile only. That's why you're seeing Candy Crush farther down that list, because it includes other games.
Yeah, man, spectacular. It's really freaking crazy to look at this and like to see. I'm especially impressed with things like Rainbow Six Siege after years figuring it out and then getting here in a way that, as far as I understand, is not intrusive to users. People are okay paying for the content that they're getting, and it's not like egregious.
Well, what's awesome about Rainbow Six Siege, and I've talked about this on the show before, is that the bulk of the things that you're buying in Rainbow Six are just customizations, and they have a fantastic store filled with customizations, skins for your guns, charms. You can get different outfits for your operators. And then, of course, they instituted a season pass system where you unlock new operators. They've added new maps repeatedly over each year in seasons. And the gameplay at its core is just so solid that you can keep playing the same style of gameplay over and over again because it's just rewarding, particularly if you're playing with a full squad. But I love that the way that they've done microtransactions in that game, because most of the items you can buy either earning in-game currency just by playing, or you can pay real-world money to get it quicker. Some things are locked just to behind a paywall, but I think in a game that is trying to continue fund development, that's just going to be one of those unnecessary evils. But I really have been enjoying my time jumping back in, and even though I've been away because there's been so many preview events this month, I'm really looking forward this weekend to playing some more. The new season is coming soon, next month, I think. Let me look. Maybe somebody can write into You're Wrong. Let me know when the new Rainbow Six season.
I think Greg might have already took down You're Wrong because.
Oh, really?
Nobody has sent anything in so far, so I feel like that's not correct. Greg Miller. He has too much power.
Dude,
I've been saying this since day one.
That's sad.
Too much?
Too much. No one man should have all that power.
Well, I guess don't write in. Oh, it's the first week of March 2019. And the technical test will begin in February. And the Rainbow Six Invitational is being held from February 11th to the 17th if you want to watch pro people play.
Wow. But that sounds so far away, Andrea.
Tim, doesn't it? If I wanted to know what was coming to the mom and grab digital shops today, where would I go?
The official list of upcoming software across each and every platform is listed by the Kind of Funny Games Daily Show host each and every weekday.
Yeah.
I love hosting with you. There's just a fun to it.
It's party time. It's Friday.
It's party time, baby.
Andrea's
Where's that Diet Coke at?
Out today, Ace Combat 7. Skies Unknown is here for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Guacamelee 2 is out on Xbox One today. With its Xbox release, Guacamelee 2 is now available across all major consoles, Switch, Xbox One, PS4, and PC. And both the Three Enemigos?
Three Enemigos is an amazing DLC title.
And Proving Grounds DLC packs are also available for purchase on all platforms. Hey, when is the Porty DLC coming?
It's already out.
Oh, it is?
That was out the day of
the showcase.
Showcase, yeah.
How to Sing to Open Your Heart, which is a visual novel, is out on Steam today.
That sounds like some Tim Geddes shit.
Yeah, it does. You should see the key art. Travis Strikes Again, No More Heroes is out on Switch today.
Oh, man, I need to play it still.
Do you?
I mean, I need to give it a shot.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm excited. I loved No More Heroes 1, enjoyed 2 a lot. And this one, I played it at some events and I wasn't down for it. But I got sent a code and like I was talking to some people and they're like, you should give it a shot. And I was gonna, but then I was playing Onimusha and I was like, I can just switch. And I'm like, you know what? I'm beating Onimusha. So I did that instead. Yeah, there you go. How to Sing to Open Your Heart.
To be fair, it seems like people who are hardcore fans of the No More Heroes games are feeling it. So I
wouldn't say I'm a hardcore fan. I'm definitely just like a midcore. You know what I mean? Softcore. I'm a softcore fan.
Don't
say softcore.
Okay. Out today also, ahead of the launch of the highly anticipated video game Kingdom Hearts 3, the game's original track, Face My Fears, by internationally renowned singer-songwriter Hikaru Utada, an 8-time Grammy Award-winning Skrillex, is available today. Have you listened to it yet?
Of course.
Of course.
You kidding me? Yo, we are 11 days away from everything changing, man. Open your hearts. Let the darkness in. Let it out. Who knows anymore? Nobody.
New dates.
Kingdom Hearts thing.
Turbo Pelvis 3000 Inc. announced their upcoming...
Turbo Pelvis?
It's a weird name for a video game developer. Their space roguelite game Fission Superstar X is now set to launch in spring in 2019 for $14.99 on Xbox One and PC. I thought I pulled a deal of the day, but I must not have put it into the doc. So...
Tim, really quick, did you hear about this new Power Rangers fighting game?
Hey, don't you dare give a preview of what's coming in Reader Mail.
Oh my God. I just
look at the doc, Barrett. Use your eyeballs.
I refuse.
Tim, you were saying.
I was saying we're about to get to Reader Mail, but before we do that, this episode of Kind of Funny Games Daily is brought to you by SkillShare. SkillShare is an online learning community for creators with more than 25,000 classes in design, business, and more. Premium membership gives you unlimited access so you can join the classes and communities that are just right for you and your new goals. New goals for the new year. Whether you want to fuel your curiosity, creativity, or even career, SkillShare is the perfect place to keep you learning and thriving in 2019 when we're getting ready for Kind of Funny Day 2019, aka Kind of Funny 4.0. I had to make a whole bunch of new intro videos and just like graphic animations and stuff. And like I'm pretty good at editing, not that great at After Effects. So every once in a while I'm like, I don't understand these keyframes and all. There's some things I need to learn. And I use Skillshare. It was super easy to find exactly what I needed to learn the one technique necessary. And then the cool thing is once you learn it, you can apply it to the rest of your life in your editing careers. Also, they have a ton of stuff about sound design that I was really interested in. And I was saying this yesterday, but I love these like tutorial sites because if you're into video production, audio editing, any of that type of stuff, you really just kind of like go down the rabbit hole where you see different things like, oh, right now I need to learn that, but like that sounds interesting too. Next thing you know how to speak Chinese. It's crazy. Join more than 7 million creators learning with Skillshare. The first 500 of our subscribers to use the link in the description will get a 2-month free trial. That's the first 500 members to sign up will receive a 2-month free trial. Go to skl.sh/kindoffunnygamesdaily to start your trial today. That's skl.sh/kindoffunnygamesdaily.
So since Barrett so kindly talked about the Power Rangers game. The reason why it didn't make it into the Roper Report is because it broke yesterday, and that's why also it wasn't in new dates. But just for people who aren't aware, I'll read a little bit about it first. But first, Ignacio Rojas wrote in to patreon.com/kindoffunnygames and says, "What's good, Andrea and other co-hosts?" He said it was Tim. Today has been announced a new Power Ranger fighting game, something I believe we haven't gotten before. But not much has been announced. Tim, as a Power Rangers fan, what would you like to see this game be? Seeing as a Power Rangers has 20 years worth of characters, would it be wise to include every single Ranger? Would this make the roster too big? Anyways, Andrea, keep being the best, and Tim, keep the hype train running. So before you answer, have you read about this game?
I watched the trailer.
Okay, you watched the trailer. So Mike Fahey over at Kotaku wrote yesterday, coming in April from Enway, the developer and publisher of mobile fighter Power Rangers Legacy Wars, Power Rangers Battle for the Grid, pits Rangers and villains, old and new, against each other in battles across PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Switch, and eventually PC. One aside, maybe announcing your fighting game and its April release date on the day of the Mortal Kombat 11 gameplay reveal, who's also coming out in April, maybe not have been the wisest choice.
Sounds like it leaked, though.
Oh, it leaked?
Yeah.
It says there was an official announcement.
I think the official announcement came after it leaked.
Well, that's usually the way it goes. Anyways, teamed up with Hasbro and Lionsgate to tap 25 years of Power Rangers history for Battle for the Grid. According to the official announcement, the fighting game eschews complicated controls in favor of a more simplified system, stating the depth is knowing when to strike, not how. Sounds like a variation on a mobile fighter to me, writes Mike. The game will launch in April for Switch, Xbox One, and PS4 with cross-platform play enabled on all three platforms and a PC version coming at a future date. It'll cost $19.99 with a special collector's edition with extra skins running $39.99.
So here's the thing. I have absolutely no hope for this game. Having said that, the mobile game is excellent, but it's a mobile game. It's like it's a fun Power Ranger fighting game with Power Rangers from across the generations. And that's the weirdest thing is Power Ranger fighting game shouldn't make sense. It's not like they have memorable, unique weapons or differences between them, right? They're people in different colored outfits.
Right.
And throughout, like, that is definitely an exaggeration, because like there's people that read the comics like myself that have then been introduced to their different weapons and really remember them. But if I were to ask someone like, are you a Power Ranger fan? They're probably going to say yes. And if then I was going to ask, what weapon does whoever have? They wouldn't fucking know the answer.
Right.
Or at least they would be like, oh, it's the axe. They wouldn't know what it's called or anything like that, right? I don't think this is going to be a great console game. It does sound like they're just putting a mobile game on on consoles, and it also looks that way. Like, did you see the trailer?
I did not.
This shit is not hot. This is, it's bad. It looks super.
Can we
super
get the trailer? Fair? Is that doable?
Yeah, I can get you the trailer. Hold on.
And a couple years back, we got a Power Ranger game, like a side-scrolling beat 'em up on PS4 and Xbox One that was based on Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and it looked really cool, but it played like shit. And it's like I feel like this is going to be very similar. And again, the mobile game, it totally works and it's cool.
There it is on the left there.
That's
the official one, yeah. So we have pulled up the trailer for Battle for the Grid.
Do you know how to bring it up so they see it too, Barrett?
Okay, here we go. Battle for the Grid. So we've got the yellow, red, green Rangers on screen.
From different generations. That's the Green Ranger. Original Green Ranger.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
It's morphin' time.
That's the one cool thing of the trailer, though.
Wow.
Sorry for for everybody's ear holes who had to deal with the really loud.
Interesting. So I think like the skins are the draw for this, right? For fans.
Yeah, this feels like a big cash grab to me. But again, the mobile game it's fun. I really enjoyed it for a bit. Haven't played it in months.
Well, I think they've priced it accurately then, $19.99.
I don't know though. How much is the mobile game? Probably like $3.
I would guess it's more than that.
I don't think it is.
This is a knowable thing. You look it up while you're looking it up.
What's the name of the mobile game?
I don't remember.
All right. Speaking of
Legacy Wars, yeah.
Fighters, Wesley Bray writes in and says, after the EA debacle, it was discussed what developers would you like to see tackle the Star Wars franchise. After the quality games Netherrealm has been putting out with the MK and Injustice universe, I think they'd be a great pick for a fighter set in the Star Wars universe. What do you think?
Masters of Terrakasi 2, baby.
Ooh.
I think NetherRealm is a fantastic developer. Everything that they've put out so far has been really great. The graphics are good. The gameplay is smooth. I mean, they've had a couple hiccups here and there, like everybody does. I think they would be a great choice. I think the idea of Warner Brothers, who works with NetherRealm, doing this is definitely never going to happen.
Power Rangers Legacy Wars is a free game.
But I bet you it makes a lot of money, Tim, because as we just discussed earlier on the Robo Report, free-to-play games make a lot of money.
Well, it should be free on consoles too then.
That's a very valid point.
So let's see. Looking at the NetherRealm, I kind of like them in the worlds that they're in right now. Like a Star Wars game could be cool, but I just don't know if that would fit the vibe. And also Star Wars is another one of those things where I don't know that we need a Star Wars fighting game, as proved by Masters of Terrakasi on the PS1.
But I'm just saying, so Star Wars Episode 3, the game, had a fighting game mode inside that game. And it was actually pretty rad.
Yeah?
Yeah. I think you could pull it off.
You could pull it off. I just feel like...
Do Star Wars fans want that game? I would say yes, but I think it's farther down the list than the other games that we hoped were coming. The cancellation news that happened this week was pretty sad, especially since...
I don't know that it was, if I'm being honest. Did people really want that in Star Wars game?
Yes, of course they did.
I don't know.
I think what's
I just want
really
anything, Tim.
What's really disheartening...
I just want anything at this point.
Yeah, but see, that I get that, but it's like, no. The Visceral game, we wanted that. This Star Wars game, I don't think we wanted. I think it's more sad that this is how the Star Wars license is being treated than people actually being excited for that game.
I'm going to disagree with you,
Yeah,
but I do agree that it's sad how the license is being treated. I would really love to know what the heck is going on over at EA, that this is now the second project that they've canceled. And it's like, we haven't seen anything from Respawn's game that they announced at EA Play last year. Like, when are we going to see that? Don't know.
Coming this year.
Yeah, hopefully before E3. Like, I want a reveal event before then, but as far as like NetherRealm, yeah, they would be great. Is it going to happen? No.
The answer is simple. Disney princesses. Here's what I want. I want a Disney princess fighting game. I want all of them. Can you just imagine Mulan in there with the sword just going crazy?
So
we got Elsa blasting fucking ice. Snow White summoning a bunch of birds and shit.
I mean, I would be in.
Sign me up.
Rocksteady Boba Fett game. That's all I want. But I don't fuck with the Disney princesses thing. Nah.
Damn,
that's for
dude.
you, Tim. I respect it though.
It's so sad we're gonna have to fire him this soon.
It is. Let's all take a moment.
How many times have you said that in the last week though?
It's true.
Okay, this is kind of a Tim Geddes Get Hype question. So Adam,
love them. Those are my favorite.
Wrote in and said, "What's good, Andrea and Tim? I've been thinking about the never-ending discussion and speculation about the PlayStation exclusive dates that are not yet announced, and I want to throw my crazy idea into the mix. What if Sony has a PSX or PSX style event late this year, at which time they do the traditional press conference thing, and then the last 3 items are," and I'm going to modify this because I know what you meant, but you wrote it wrong, an extended look at The Last of Us 2 with a release date of March 2020, an extended look at Ghost of Tsushima with a release date of April 2020, an extended look at Death Stranding with a release date of May 2020, then a single screen with all of those games' logos and release date that says only on PlayStation 4, and then fade in and PlayStation 5. Everyone is already freaking out about the game dates, and they add on confirmation of all of those titles as day and date on both systems. I'm sure this is too crazy to be true and will require Sony's 2018 to be kind of quiet, but I can't think of a better justification for skipping E3. Thanks and keep up the great work.
I think that some of the dates are wrong here, but this is what I think is going to happen. Like, I've been saying it for a long time that I feel like we're at a point that out of those 3 games, I would say at least one of them is going to be on PS4 and PS5. And if all 3 were, I wouldn't be surprised. Ghost of Tsushima is the one that I feel like we know the least about. That game could be coming this year. It could be coming in 2 years. Like, we really don't know.
Right.
Whereas with Death Stranding, Last of Us, like, I feel like we can all make a bit more educated guesses on. But yeah, I fully expect something like this. I also kind of expect them to have a fairly quiet 2018 or 2019 when it comes to first-party exclusive titles, because they also don't need them right now. They can just keep riding the wave of what they've had and have all the third parties and gear up for this PS5. That would be a massive launch. And also an interesting thing he's put in here, that would put PS5 as marching in March 2019, which I think would be fucking awesome.
Well, I modified the dates to 2020 because this is.
Oh, wait, fuck. Yeah, 2020.
Because he said a PSX style event late this year. So I assumed, Adam, that you meant
he did
2020 because PS5 is not coming in 2019.
Yeah, no, absolutely. 2020 makes a lot of sense. So,
but 2020 is possible.
But can you imagine PS5 March 2020? Forgetting this whole, like, we have to launch in the fall. I'm all about it, man. Look at what Sony's been doing with their first-party games the last couple of years. They don't release them in the fall. They release them in the early years. Look at the power the Nintendo Switch launch had being in March.
True, but most fiscal years end in March, and so doing a big hardware launch in March is not ideal for a variety of reasons.
Then April.
I mean, April also, I don't know. I feel like they wouldn't deviate from a fall launch.
Let's shake it up, baby. Let's fucking go.
So I like, Adam, where you're going. I think that this would maybe be like an E3 2019 thing where they would come out and say, this game are launching for PS5 in the fall, but maybe they're out earlier. I have to imagine we're not going to wait until fall 2020 for all three of these games. Right? Like, that would be wild.
I don't think we are.
No.
I think it's going to be earlier.
Also, I did not realize before the news this week about Kojima showing the first 2 hours of Death Stranding to Guerrilla that it was built on their engine. That's so exciting.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Did not realize. Baby. Learned something new this week.
Such a sad thing. It's not the Fox engine, though. Like, I hate that we're never going to see a game in that worth a damn ever again. Well, that engine was probably my favorite of all time.
Was pretty cool.
I hate you so much.
Well, he could rebuild a new engine and call it something else.
That's true. I don't see that happening now with the system they got going on with PlayStation. But
I'm sure he's at an age where he's like, I don't want to do that anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Because the Fox engine was breathtaking. Like, I've never seen a game with that cinematic look that we got with Metal Gear Solid 5, Ground Zeroes, or Phantom Pain. The way the camera moved, the way everybody looked, the way lighting was, oh my God, it was gorgeous.
I want to make a note of this. So I started reading this earlier. So the Nano Biologist wrote in and said, "Howdy, Andrea and Tim. What's good? With the rampant use of fake news on KFGD and You're Wrong, how can we fix the problem, particularly when it comes to unmentioned new titles and updated releases? Should we start posting links to articles mentioning what we're saying to help dissuade people from posting fake stuff? Yes. Always
there you go.
Post where you got the information from. That is incredibly helpful. Hope you both have a good weekend and may your heart be your guiding key." The Nanobiologist, Mick from Rockville.
Here's my thing. All jokes aside, being completely serious, I've been reading a lot of feedback from this whole thing on Reddit and the Facebook group and in the comments of, like, people are giving their solutions and ideas on how to make this all work. There's a lot of things that they're not taking into consideration, including the fact that there are some days when we get maybe 15 things and You're Wrong, and that's easy for us to sift through and be like, okay, we can read this, that's editorializing. Oh, there's breaking news, we can look at whatever. The problem is, in the last, I would say, month or two, it's just been insane. And it was even before the KF 4.0 thing where we're getting 40 submissions a day, and there's just way too much to be able to go through.
Well, I think one of the problems is we used to have this in the kindafunny.com forums where people could go to You're Wrong and see the other items people had already listed. And so now with the way the Google Doc works is that when you list something, you don't know if somebody's already submitted it. So we're getting a lot of duplicate entries, which is contributing to the problem. Is blocking it behind Patreon the way to go? I don't know.
I mean, that's what we're doing. I mean, that's what we're doing with the bronze memberships. Be a part of the show. I know that's not going to make everybody happy, but that is the solution. I know for a fact that most of the people that we got quality You're Wrongs over the years from are already Patreon supporters, so it's not going to affect them. I know there's a couple exceptions to that rule. I'm going to try to think of a solution for that, but honestly, my solution is patreon.com/kindoffunny. We're doing something here. We're trying to build something here.
We are.
It is not a fuck you to people. It is hey, we are trying to run a good show here. So,
speaking of building something, it's time for Squad Up.
Hell yeah.
Engeo writes, figured there might be a few best friends playing Star Wars The Old Republic who might want a chill guild to hang with. My guild is the Smokin' Wookiees on the Satil Shan server. We are a drinking group with a rating problem that likes to get together and have fun. We make sure that RL is the priority. The game will always come second. We are fairly small, but love finding cool people to hang with. Most of us stick to PvE, but a few of us like to dip our toes in PvP. If you want to check us out, our website is smokinwookiees.ng.com. We do require an application to join, but it's mostly just to avoid trolls. So the Smokin' Wookiees, that's without the G, so like just the IM. And we'll put that in the show notes if you guys want to head to that exact server. But if you guys are Star Wars The Old Republic fans and you want to get into a drinking group with a rating problem.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
That's kind of like the What's Good Guardians, sort of.
so damn good.
All right, Tim, we've already talked about You're Wrong. What did we screw up today?
Nothing.
We got a flawless victory on today's show.
I think Greg made the thing not work.
He
Quick
destroyed
story,
it.
though, about the drinking group with a rating problem. My first week of college, we were in communications 101 or whatever the fuck it was. I don't know, some bullshit. And the teacher made everyone go around the room and describe themselves in 3 words. And there was some woman that was like, how old are you when you're in college? Like fucking 18, 19? I was 18.
Usually 18 to 22 is the range,
Yeah,
right?
I was 18. And she must have been like 23 or something. So she was a little on the older side, especially for me back then. She looked like a grown-ass woman, you know what I mean? But her answer, everyone's answer was like, radiant and thoughtful and beautiful, you know, all this bullshit. It gets to her and she just goes, straight, no chaser. And I was like, you're the fucking coolest person I've ever met. I just thought that was the coolest answer. To describe yourself in 3 words?
Yeah. She's an older chick. Older chicks are cool.
Older chicks, very cool. It's a fact.
Yep.
Now I want to drink. Thanks, Tim.
Straight no chaser.
It is Friday.
11.
All right, so that is going to do it for the show today. Tomorrow's host, meaning Monday's host, Kevin. What's up? I'm ending on time, Kevin. I'm literally reading the host for tomorrow. Are you trying to be Nick right now? Is that what you're trying to go for? Did somebody make my 1045 emote yet?
Not yet.
Oh my God.
1045 one.
All right. Greg and Tim are hosting on Monday. I'm back with Greg on Tuesday and Wednesday next week. Oh, I have to talk to him about that. I'm going to a thing. Thursday, it's Greg and Andy Mack.
Yeah.
Andy McNamara. Yes.
From Game Informer.
Oh, he is great.
He is fantastic.
That's going to be fun. And then Friday is Greg and Joseph Knoop.
Get hype, baby.
We hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. Once again,
true.
this has been Kinda Funny Games Daily. Please, if you would like to help support the show, we understand that not everybody has dollars to throw to patreon.com/kindafunnygames, but maybe you want to write us a review on iTunes. Maybe you want to hit that subscribe button. Maybe you want to hit the notification button on YouTube. Anything you can do to help support us helps us grow. So thank you so much. Have a wonderful weekend. It's been our pleasure to serve.